back to another episode of In the Kitchen with Sandy, and today we are going to try to wing this baby. We're going to try to wing this. Let me tell you what's going on in my kitchen. My light fixture is decided to just die on me. It's not working. We're going to have to get a new one this weekend. We're all too busy working to try to go this week, so I'm using my handy dandy studio light, which I usually use when I'm filming anyway, to give us that extra light so you can see this beautiful face a lot better. But anyway, we've got that going on, and I don't know what, it's always something that you have to spend your money on, that you work very hard. But anyway, I'm done with that. I'm done with babbling on. Today we're making beef stew. How's that? That sounds amazing. It's cold outside, there's snow on the ground, and beef stew is one of my favorite dishes. I love it. It's so hearty, it's so comforting, and you couple that together with some cornbread or some nice baked bread, and you have yourself a meal. And it's one of those dishes that is just, it's so forgiving. You know, if you add this or that to it, you can add anything you want to it, you know, according to your taste. So it's just, I love it so much. So let's get started. Let me tell you what I've got so far. I have got my beef here. This is meat. This is chuck roast. I had to think for a minute what I bought. I'm so sorry. This is meat. But this is chuck roast. This is like the chuck shoulder roast. And if you've noticed, I've left a little bit of the fat on there. You want to leave some of that fat on there. I'm telling you, you want to have some flavor in your food, and that little bit of fat in there is going to make it render nicely. And it doesn't matter anyway, because we're going to cook this so tender that it's just going to fall away from that fat. You're just going to be able to peel it off there. If you don't want it in your stew, that's perfectly fine. I don't mind if it's in my stew because it adds flavor. And you know, one thing's for sure is In the Kitchen with Sandy is all about flavor. Flavor. So I've got this, I've got this cooked. I've got this cut just in the chunks, you know, a nice size chunk that I like. You know, if you want yours smaller, if you want yours bigger, you know, go ahead. It's your kitchen. You make it how you want to make it. And we're also going to be using some olive oil and some Worcestershire sauce and just a little bit of steak seasoning. I've got some flour here. I've got some beef broth. And let's see what else we're going to use. We're going to use just a little tiny bit of tomato paste. Just a little bit of tomato paste. And in here, in this bowl here, I have got some deliciousness. Can you see that? This is a bowl of flavor, baby. I've got some garlic. I'm tongue-tied today. I've got 2 large cloves of garlic, just, you know, roughly chopped, minced. It's not really minced, it's just like roughly chopped. I've also, oh, Jesus, what in the world? This is crazy. I've also got some thyme, a little bit of thyme in there, dried thyme, some dried rosemary, some onion powder, and some garlic powder. What else do I have in here? I can't see. Oh, I've got some celery. A little bit of celery seed or celery salt, whatever you want to use. I'm not a big fan of cooked celery. Never been a big fan of cooked celery. I do like it in my potato soup. That's about the only thing that I like cooked celery in. So I like to replace that, the flavor of the cooked celery with a little bit of celery salt. I keep it on hand. I use it in a lot of things, and that's my preference. If you want to use celery, you go for it. You go for it. It's your kitchen. So let's get started. Okay, I am using my Dutch oven to make my stew today. This is what I like to use. I love my Dutch oven. I use it for a lot of different things. I've got my, beef stew is one of my favorites. I've got my heat on slightly over medium, medium high. And because we're going to brown this meat really good, but we're also going to use what I didn't show you previously, is we're going to use some carrots and some potatoes and some onions. Now that's all I like in my beef stew. Oh, and some frozen peas. I wanted to add that as well. Like I said, if you want to do the celery thing, you do the celery thing, my friend. I've got this on about, like I said, about medium high, and if I'm looking at my stove, it's going to be at the, I don't have numbers on my stove, so just little slashes, so it would be at like the 5. You're going to add some olive oil to your Dutch oven there. Oh, I love this. And you know what? You can even make this beef stew in your Dutch oven. If you have the kind that's oven proof, and you can put it right in your oven and just cook it right in your oven. So that's lovely too. It's absolutely amazing like that. While that's coming to temperature, I'm going to go ahead and pop open my beef broth here. And again, if the lighting is not good, I apologize for it. I apologize for it, but I want to get this recipe to you, and I don't want to wait for the weekend, so guess what? We're going to deal with it. So now that I've got that going there, if you can see in there, I've got probably a good 2 tablespoons of oil in there. And this is going to make your meat just caramelize to perfection. And that's what we're looking to do right here, is caramelize your meat. So, with that being said, and you know what, I swear, I keep forgetting to buy pepper for my pepper mill, but that's okay. That's alright. So, we're going to go ahead and add our beef chuck here to our pan. One at a time. We'll never get it in there. It'll be a long video, one at a time. Listen at it. It's starting to sear already. And then we're going to add some pepper. You might hear my dogs in the background, so be it. And some salt. We're not going to add a whole lot of salt because the beef stock has a lot of salt content in it. So, let's see. Can you see that really well there? And we're just going to give this a stir, and we're just going to brown these until they're nice and caramelized, which it shouldn't take but just a couple minutes, maybe 3 or 4 minutes max. I want you to brown them on all sides there. Once your ground chuck is just about almost there, you know, as far as being brown, I'm going to go ahead and add all your delicious seasonings in there. The reason why we didn't do it in the beginning is because you really don't want your garlic to, you don't want it to burn. Oh, as soon as all those beautiful spices meet that pan there, the heat, it just smells amazing. Oh my goodness. And then just give it a quick stir there. And this is just about right where I want it. As far as browning there, if you can see that in there, that looks amazing. Oh my goodness. And once you have that to where it's totally brown on all sides there, nice and caramelized, you're going to add your beef stock. It's my dogs over there. Oh my gosh, it smells delicious. And this was about, this is 2 pounds, so this is probably about 4 cups then. 4 cups of beef stock. And just give it a nice stir there. Oh, it is so good. It smells so good. And we're going to add some flour. You know what? We should have done the flour before we poured the stock in there, but hey, it'll all work out. Give that a nice stir. This is going to act as a thickening agent. Okay, and at this point, I want you to go ahead and add your Worcestershire sauce. Just about a tablespoon, not a whole lot, and you're going to add about a tablespoon of your A1 sauce. This is going to add, this is just going to add just another layer of goodness to it. Go ahead and give that a stir. Oh gosh, that smells so good. Absolutely amazing. We're going to bring it back up to a boil, which it's almost there now, and then we're going to put a lid on it, and we're going to cover it, and we're going to let it cook for about 1.5 hours. Beef stew meat has been cooking for about 1.5 hours at this point. And it's thickening up nicely, and it looks absolutely delicious. It is getting so tender already. Oh, my house smells so amazing. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to go ahead and add our tomato paste. Remember I told you about the tomato paste. And this is also going to help thicken it as well. And now we're just going to add our carrots and our onions and potatoes in there. Look how beautiful those are. And these are going to be absolutely beautiful. Now, be careful putting those into your stock, your meat, your juice here, what have you, because it is hot. So don't splatter your fingers. And you know what? I'm just going to do it this way. Perfect. And just give that a stir. Are you getting the gist of this? Look at that. Look how pretty that is. I'm going to add just a little bit more pepper to that. Oh, it smells so good. So good. And we're going to turn this, we're going to keep it the temperature that it is. We're not going to turn it down at all. I've been simmering this. We're going to let this simmer for about another 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes. And as you can see, the beef is already turning, or a nice, it's already to get tender, starting to get tender already. So we're going to bring this back up to a boil. And we're going to turn it back down once it starts boiling, and we're going to let this simmer for additional, about another 45 minutes. Oh my goodness, I want you to look how amazing that beef stew looks. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. And it's thick just perfectly the way I like it. And we're going to spoon some out, and we are going to eat this. I mean, this is absolutely so much heartiness going on. Are you getting a look at that? Are you checking that out? Perfect. Oh, this bowl's hot. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. I'm going to show you exactly how fork tender this is. She's wanting me to move back, but she don't understand this bowl is so hot. Look at that. Look how the fork just goes right in that, and it just tears apart. That is the key to making some of the best beef stew. Is you got to make sure that you cook your meat. Ooh, I gotta hold it. That's so hot. Gee, Merry Christmas. You might. This is a great time for intermission if you need to go use the bathroom or get a beverage or something, because this is gonna be hot. Oh, hot, hot, hot. I gotta hold the bowl like this. Can't wait to bite into it. Mmm. Mmm. Oh my gosh, that meat just fell apart. Mmm. So good. Did you see how tender? Mmm. Oh my gosh, I am just, thank you Jesus for another good meal. Mmm, 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 mmm. Mmm. Make sure you try this recipe. It is so amazing. You're going to love this. Making some cornbread to go with it. You know, I appreciate each and one of you so very much. Make sure you follow me on my Facebook page, In the Kitchen with Sandy, and all over social media. I want you to get another good look at this, and I will see you next time. Love you.